6, Episode 6, Fraser's Ridge erupts into chaos after Malva Christie accuses Jamie of fathering her unborn child. Although Jamie denies it and Claire believes him, the question of who the child's real father is ends in tragedy after Claire discovers that Malva has been murdered. Megan, welcome to Outlander Insider. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I mean, what did you think of this episode? There was just so much drama in this episode.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was definitely the most compelling episode of season 6 so far, I think. And with the big question being, who killed Malva Christie? And luckily, we're going to be joined by the person who can tell us all about it, Jessica Reynolds. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us on Outlander Insider. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to see you alive and well.
I know.
Yeah, all good, all intact. Like, what an episode. Like, I know that this was like a big thing that the book fans were really looking forward to seeing, but like, what was your reaction? How did you find out that your character was getting murdered?
When I was auditioning, I didn't know. I kind of had, because they kept it all very under wraps, you know, like I think when I first got sent the audition sides, like even Claire and Jamie's name were like changed. So
Right.
hiding that it was Outlander, and then I was like, I think I know what this is. But yeah, so I only got like little snippets, but I knew from then, I was like, this is a dark character, because I had like the accusation scene for my audition. So I knew, I was like, oh God, this is some dark stuff here. But then it was only until I got the part, and then I started reading the book, and then I read the whole book that Malva's in. And I was like, Jesus, like that's when I found out about the murder and who does it, and what, it was just like, I was saying, like, Diana really found a way to cram all the worst circumstances into like an 18-year-old girl's life that she could.
It's so true. She has such a hard time with things. But you know, like earlier on in the series, because I haven't read the books personally, and like I didn't know what to make of her, because it's like you play it so well that it's like she's so sweet and inquisitive and seems like sort of like a new Claire, and then just this edge starts coming in to it. I mean, it must be fun for you to play.
Yeah, of course. I think like it's hard because you know, people see that, and I think with normal life, with humans in general, you see someone, you know, that's really sweet and nice, and then they do such awful stuff, and you instantly like, you know, categorize them as like villain or evil or anything like that. And I think a lot of people watching have kind of thought all that stuff at the start must have been fake and everything, you know. But the way I looked at it was like, I think that was all real. I think she is inquisitive. I think she is similar to Claire in ways. I think, you know, she really wanted to be her with just maybe an edge of mental illness and abuse, and, you know, so much has happened since such a young age, and since she was, you know, 5 or whatever. And I think, it caused her to do awful things. So, you know, there's it, but you're right. It's like kind of, you like her one minute, she's a wee sweetie, and then the next minute you're like, what are you doing?
I mean, one of the moments as well in this episode when we see her accuse Jamie of being the father was, you know, just heartbreaking. I think fans everywhere were just like, no. But, you know, was that scene really intense to film? Because there's so many emotions going on in that moment.
Yeah. I think it was like the most, I don't know, it was probably the most intense day, just because there was like 5 of us like in that scene. It was a 6-pager. It was the longest scene I had in the whole shoot. And we did it like loads of times, like take after take after take after take. But I loved it that way. I kind of like, it made it more dynamic, and it forced you to really get into that zone, because it was such a build up. Because she, you know, she walks in and she's kind of holding her bump, and it's quite quiet, and then you kind of know as the actor, you're like, we've got a lot to get through here, like on each take. But it kind of adds to it, and it made it so dynamic, almost like theatre. It was so long. There's none of those cuts that you usually see in like a lot of TV. It was just, you know, like 5 minutes of full material. And it was, obviously like crying and everything. Like, that's always hard to even get to in the first place for a lot of people. It's hard for me, definitely. But then by like the 10th take, or probably like the 5th take, I was like, I'm sorry. I was just laughing the whole time. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's just, you just like stop connecting and stop feeling it. You're like, oh, you know, whereas the first few times it's like, this is really happening.
Yeah.
And then you lose it and then you come back. But yeah, it was such a fun day. It was like such great people as well, and it became quite funny, to be honest.
Obviously, book fans know who killed Malva, and you know who killed Malva, but I mean, what can you hint without giving too much away about who is behind it? And have you actually seen any theories from fans who are just watching the TV show about who could have done it?
Yeah, I've not seen that many. Obviously, I get a lot of like book readers who know what's happened and everything, and then I get a few people that, you know, are guessing. I think I don't even want to say because I'm the worst poker face. So I'll like say what some of the fans have thought, and then you'll be able to tell. But I mean, it's pretty epic in a bad way. That sounds like a good thing. It's just, you know, it's quite a plot twist, I think. It's hard to know because I've read the books and it's like, you know, but it's just really sad.
I mean, one of the scenes in particular that looked so complicated to even go about filming was the throat cut scene. And it, you know, it's so graphic with Claire performing the surgery. I mean, how did you guys go about that? It must have been such a difficult thing to shoot.
I had to close my eyes watching that. I was just like, oh, this is too much.
Yeah, and it was kind of one of the only times that I've really felt like sad in the moment. Obviously I'm playing dead, but I really felt like the gravity and the weight of the plot line, you know, because like in other scenes, either Malva's, you know, really like observing so much, or she's crying, or she's, you know, she's kind of like people pleasing or doing whatever, whereas this, it was like she's dead. So it's like more like me, you know, as the actor kind of observing Katrina like do her work right above me. When you see someone with that raw emotion on top of you, and it's like, it was I mean, it was easy for me. Everyone was making a fuss over me, and they were, you know, so my neck, and I was lying. It was a sunny day, it was great, but it was really, it was so powerful to watch like Katrina, someone of like that standard, you know, show her work like that was incredible. And she was pregnant at the time, which I can't imagine, you know, I'm sure she just tapped straight into that. But yeah, it was really intense. I swear we only did like one take probably.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Outlander Insider. Please leave your comments. We love reading them. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you next week. Bye.